Well, hi everyone. Well, here I am in the greenhouse, lean-to greenhouse at home, and this is new for this year. As you can see, my previous videos, I used to grow in the spare room. Well, that's all been done out now, and what I did instead of spoiling the spare room now, I bought a 6x4 lean-to greenhouse, polycarbonated, it's not glass, and just using it as a grow room. So as you can see, I've got my onions well underway now. And what I'll do, I'll show you from the outside, and as we come in, and you can see the setup. One sec. So let's just go outside. It is at night, so as you can see, it's a 6x4 lean-to greenhouse, and yeah, it's shining a bit, and it's polycarbonate. It's covered inside with black and white, as you can see. Covered inside with black and white, so it reflects all the light that I have off the two grow lights, and it reflected onto the onions. So I've got a little normal house heater, but it is thermostatically controlled on the heater. But what I did was to buy a thermostat. Let's shut the door too. So I bought a thermostat, as you can see. Let's put it on. So there you go. The current temperature is 16 degrees in here. The heater will only come on when it reaches 8 degrees, and it will stop at 10.5. So you want the temperature between 8 and 10. I think that's more than adequate enough to grow the onions in. Plus, you got the heat off the grow light itself. So there's a little setup, and it's got a little probe as well. So there's your thermostatic probe, and that gives obviously the temperature for the thermostatic plug for the heater. And when it goes below 8, then the heater will kick in, and he'll heat this place up pretty quickly because it's only small. Alright, so if I pop you over here, and we'll have a talk. Just here. Okay. So basically all onion growing, and there's two types of onion here, and one's going to be for my own purposes, but Pete Cornish Giant, no, Pete's Cornish Garden. I set up a challenge. I did it last year, but I don't know because I stopped filming. And it's to grow the heaviest Alsay onion from Keith Foster's seeds. Um, See who can grow the biggest onion. He's got two categories, whether it's in under grow lights or grow without grow lights. And I'm only going to enter the one category. So this is reason for part of the video, because you have to show some of your progress as and when you're doing it. So this is my Alsay seed onion from Foster Seeds. So they've come up excellent seed germination from Foster Seeds. You know, it is a big onion. It's a quality onion as well, so you can use it for heavy or quality. So it's got the best of both worlds in it, and yeah, we're going to give those a try. Then I got the own heavy onion seed. This is not from Foster's. This is what we've saved ourselves, and we've had beautiful germination on there. As you can see, you got the black seed on the top. I've covered it with vermiculite, so you've just put your seed in as normal, cover with vermiculite, and this what else keeps that seed coating. And they always say it's better when it's like that. Um, you know, it looks better as well. But these will be potted on until I see the second true leaf. Now the reason why I like it like that is because They used to say, "Oh, pick it out from the cook stage with less root disturbance as possible." So, but the reason I like the first true leaf to come on, is so I know when I'm planting them in the cells, I know how deep to go with it. Because sometimes if you go at the crook stage and you go too deep with one of the onion seedlings, it'll come up from the soil at the bottom because you don't know where roughly on the onion seedling it's going to grow. So if you keep on till the first true leaf that starts to come, which is then just about to starting to come on, I should let it get a little bit tall, about half inch, and then I'll start potting them on. So as you can see, they've been on a heat mat. These are new grow lights. I did have the T5s, but as you all know, them doing away with the fluorescent bulbs, and I don't want to buy the same T5 unit, just because it got LED light, LED tubes in. So I opted for something else. Joe McKenzie put us on to these from North. He's from Cumbria, great grower, and he put us on these lights, and he's had good success with them, and he really likes them so much. And they are dimmable, so you can change the lighting on this by this switch. You can make it brighter, 100%, and then you can put it down. At the moment, I've only got them on 50%. You got 60, 40, 20, and then it goes off. So these are on 50%, halfway at the moment. He recommends not to go to full 100% because that's for flowering stage, and 80% is the veg stage. So yeah, we got two sets of lights in. So my quality onions will be grown in here as well, and we can adjust these lights with the pullers. They come with pullers, and yeah, and they give off very little heat. So here, that's where it just gets warm down here. You can't feel much. So it gives off little very little heat. This heat mat will be removed once they potted them up. So when I pop my onion seedlings up, as I see mostly, you go straight into a 3-inch pot, which I don't, and I'll take one of the trays out that I use. So I'll use a 12 cell tray insert. Now you'll ask, why do you just pop them into one of these 3-inch pots? Well, the simple case is that when you pot, you got 12 seeds in there, seedlings. If I pop that one of them seedlings up into that pot, one, it's going to take so much room. In there, I can put 12 in at a time. On here, I'll be able to get 6 to 8 trays. I should put a water tray in, and 6 to 8 trays, and then as they grow under 24-hour lights for the first 6 to 8 weeks, I'll be able to see which is the best seedlings, which has the most leaves producing, which has the most vigor and everything in them cell trays. And that'll give me a good root system in there also. And then from there, I can select out of them 12, but obviously out of the 8 trays, I'll be able to select the strongest plants before they even go in there. So once I pop that out of that cell tray, put a bit of compost in the bottom, plant that up, it gives you an extra option. Because if I went straight in there, yes, it will grow a lot faster than what it's going to be in there, but from that pot, then I've got to go straight into a 5-inch pot. Well, this just gives me an extra potting, which is always helpful. So we'll put the 12 seedlings in there. We'll continue to see how they grow during the course. And then we just select the best. Then we pot them up into the 3-inch pot. But when you're selecting, always do more onions than you need, and then start selecting down as you pot up. But always have a few spares in the meanwhile. So as I'm entering the competition for Pete's Cornish Garden, the Alcyonian Challenge. There's a few of you who grow there, and you grow some decent bulbs. Um, and there's a few tips just to just to try and get yourself that bigger onion, which these will help massively. So when you're growing outside on your allotment or in your back garden, wherever you're going to grow your onions for this challenge, is that if you got yourself a little raised bed that you grow 'em in, if you put some posts up at the sides of your raised beds and put a poly cover or any plastic sheeting, as long as the sun can get through, right, to keep the rain off. The rain, that's why a lot of us grow in polytunnels, because you can control the watering. Now, by doing that, allows you not to water over the top. If you water over the top, you're damaging your plants, even though when you look at it, that's why most of us onion growers all grow under cover, because we got the control of the watering, to a point, of course. And it's like that's what you need. It'll also create that bit of heat. And then if it gets too hot, like we did have this year, so all you need to do is chuck a bit of green netting over, shading, or a dark colour, just to block the extra light out. But as long as you've got a cover over your onions, it will make a massive difference. It hasn't got to be professionally made or a professional tunnel. Whatever you're growing your onions in a small frame, just put a little cover over the top, a plastic sheet. As long as it's see-through, it will make a massive difference to growing your onions. Also, onions, you should water around, so that if that's your onion, you should water on the outside of the onion and not right close up to the bulb, because if you water too much often and it stays wet or moist, it will give you botrytis, it could cause rotting, and that's a problem you want to avoid at all costs. So if that's your onion there, always water a couple of inches away from the onion, and keep that mound by the onion as dry as you possibly can. Because when you water around the outside anyway, the roots are going to be there because they're going to spread out by that time. So that's another thing, that there's a couple of tips that will make you better onions. Now, to get a decent onion, you're going to need to start them off early, even if you grow them outdoors. So if you've got a greenhouse, you've got to try and heat it um, to keep the temperature at least 10 degrees if it's possible. If you don't have any heating, well, you're going to have to start on a later date sowing. But even that, if that's the case, you are prone to having a few problems along the way. To grow a decent onion, you're going to need heat. You don't need grow lights if you're going to do um, part of this challenge of growing outdoor. But one of your main things is heat. So if you've got a greenhouse in the back garden or down your allotment, it really needs to be heated to grow a decent onion, even if it's just for out in the garden. Um, so if you can heat it up any way possible or keep it frost free, and then try and do that the best you possibly can. Um, Bed preparation wise, if you use pallet collars or you've got a raised bed or anything like that, is stick plenty of organic matter in. Um, good compost, good topsoil, and then a good balanced fertilizer, and and then just keep steady watering them over the course of the year. And if you put that little cover over, like I said, it will help a lot more. Um, but any questions, just put them in the comments below, or ask Pete, Pete's Cornish Garden. He can always get back to me, and I can answer any questions that some of your viewers for him can answer. ask, and I can try and answer them the best possible way I can, or help you just to try and get that bigger step of an onion that you really want to grow, and also gives the same people's opportunity across the playing field. So, like I said, these Foster's also onion. That's part of the challenge. I want to say thank you to Pete. Uh, well, for the good introduction he gave me on his channel. To be fair, um, you don't need to do that, but it was very much appreciated, and I'm so grateful. And also for them people who subscribed, um, I want to say thank you because I've got to 550 now, and I don't think I'd get past 50. Never mind, never mind 550. And hopefully, like I say, if it grows more, I'm well happy. But it's your choice whether you want to subscribe or not. If you like it, to subscribe. If you don't, then don't subscribe. You can just watch it. I hate fussed how it goes, but I'm just here to try and help you to get that next step, or just make your veg a little bit better than what it can be now, just by my own experiences really and my fails, which I've had quite a lot. Unfortunately, in gardening, you'll have more fails than successes, but when you do get a successful thing, it's all worth it. All them fails then seem to go out the window, and your success changes over. So I've got these onions now. I'm under 24 hours lights now. They've been under 24 hours lights since Friday last week, because they was just popping up about that big, and then they went straight onto 24-hour lights. Um, that's how they get used to it. Now these will be on 24-hour lights from the first 6 to 8 weeks, like I said, um, and then it will be reduced to, I don't know, possibly 10 hours. I know it's a big jump, 10 to 12 hours, and then I'll keep them on because I don't want the plants to grow too big. They're going to grow quite rapid once these are potted up, and then once you pot these up from this cell tray, they will grow rapid. And if you have them on too long on 24 hours light, you'll cause bulbing, which you want to avoid, um, because you're making them mature before they've even started. So 6 to 8 weeks, you want to keep your lights on for 24 hours, then drop it down. I'll drop it down dramatically to 10 hours, 12 hours. That's it. And then once they get too big for this grow room, I'll transfer them to the heated greenhouse on the allotment. As you can see, I've got the black and white polythene. The black's on the outside, just to try and block as much light from the outside as possible and keep it in here. And the white's to reflect all the light onto the onion plants. So when this light's on as well, it'll be doing the same job. It's against the wall at the moment, and I've just put a white sheet up so it reflects it from everywhere. The only thing I put a white sheet up is on the roof. One, it's too much hassle, um, and no one's so far, touch wood, has complained about the bright light. So, and in the day, it's ain't much of a problem anyway. Um, but yeah, things are motoring on. So once these are potted up, this heat mat will then go. Take that off, put the water tray on, and pot them up into these cells. Now, when you put a water tray on here, you must make it as level as possible, because otherwise, when you're watering, if it's just leaning slightly, the water will go too much to the one side, or your left to right, or your back to the front, and you want to avoid that as much as possible. So always try and get a level bench as much as you slightly can, possibly can. The potting mix I'm going to go into, well, I'll make a video on that as we're going on, but it'll be the same as the leek. So we'll be going into a Clover Professional potting, which is the gold and white bag. These are sown in seed and modular in the Professional. We'll show you what we do, what we got. So I've got a barrel under the bench that's full of water, and that's roughly will keep greenhouse temperature, which is what you want really. And in the barrel, all I've put in is some liquid seaweed for my local hardware shop. He sells this, good value, £4 with extra 20%. It doesn't matter which seaweed you add, seaweed, whether it's maxi crop, doff, uh, whatever, whatever it is, seaweed. I always like the like black syrup sort of stuff if I can get my hands on it, and that's one of them. So I tipped a bit of that into a 50 litre barrel, mix it up, and that's what they'll get every single water in, whether it's in the tray or water above. That's what they'll get in every single water in. Now to keep your plants clean, what I've got in here. Now you can use insecticide. If you want to know the insecticides I use, um, you are limited, as I say, to what you can get. I won't divulge them onto here, but if you want to personal message me or email, or if you want my email to ask me what I use, I'll be happy to answer you. But in this one, I can tell you what this one is, because it's an organic one, and it works to a point. So in here is S&B Invigorator. Um, it's 10 ml to 1 litre, and I just put a bit of liquid, washing up liquid in, but it has to have nothing in it whatsoever. Otherwise, you burn your plants. So you have to have I use Social Care from Morrison's. That absolutely no fragrances, no detergents. You know what I mean? It's got nothing in it. It's just pure soap. Just a couple of drops in there that acts as a wetting agent or a sticking agent. So when you squirt it on, it sticks to your plants better. And in here, I've used just a little bit of a measuring spoon. It's about 1 ml bicarbonated soda. If you look up that is a natural fungicide. Um, that helps against many things. So I've just put a little bit in there and mix it up. But what you cannot do, you cannot spray these plants while this light's on. Otherwise, you will scorch them. So the best way to avoid that is if you're going to spray your onions. Whether you can use this in the house as well because it's natural. You know, it's a insecticidal use. Well, powerful insecticide, I should say. It's all natural. It's S&B Invigorator is made up with natural oils, um, so it's pretty much safe. Uh, so if you're going to spray these, you'll have to switch these lights off. I would do that during the day, switch that off, and spray them. Give them a good spray, and then what you want to do, while through the day, because I'll have a bit of natural light for what we get, and that will dry. And once that's dry, then you can switch your light back on. So you'll probably want to leave it off an hour or two, just so it dries. But you've got to keep them clean. You don't want any thrip or anything to get into them. So I'd rather turn the light off for a couple of hours, let them dry, and then switch it back on. It won't do any harm to them. It's ain't going to ruin the cycle. It's going to keep your plants clean, which is very vitally important. Um, because that's once you get the thripping, it's going to be very hard to get it out, and it could end up being all in your greenhouse. So keep it clean from the start. These haven't been sprayed yet, but as soon as they've been potted up, I'll spray them, leave them off the lights till they're dry, and then put them back under. Obviously, this light will be up here then. Yeah. So that's where we am, and I'm looking forward to having a go at this competition. It's not a massive competition. It's just a YouTube competition. Um, and that's my Elsa onions, Pete. There they are. They were started off actually, both of them were started off on the 24th of the 10th, which is 24th of October. I always start them off at that time, and I've had good results. You just got to hope the weather follows it. Another big factor is when you're growing onions is the weather. The moment you plant outside, unless you some of the top growers going for the world record, unless you can control it in some way, then that's what you got to do. But other than that, if you just want to grow a big onion, which I had my best this year, was I've grown £10.5 quite a few times, but just over £11 was my PB, and I'm doing nothing different apart from the grow lights change. So we're going to see how that goes. But like I say, comments below if you want to know any tips. I can try and help you as best as possible. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try and find it out for you by other growers and then tell you guys. So this is the setup we've got at home in the back garden, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be well. So we're all set up, as you can see, all looking good. Heater down there, and there's the blue barrel. Just one of them food waste barrels. Keep the lid on. You see, it's like a bit of black syrup. I'll stir that up every time I want to water. There's the water trays just ready, and yeah, this is the little grow room for the onions. Don't use lights on leeks anymore. Just grow them as naturally as possible. We want to keep them as small as possible. But for the onions, they do really benefit from light, whether it's quality onions or heavy onions. And as I say, anything I can help anyone with, I'll do my best. But like I say, if you're growing outside, you want to put a little cover over the top. I'm sure you can buy some clear polythene from B&Q, Wicks, places like that. That'll do the job, even if it's just from season to season. Um, but as long as you keep your onions covered, you know, because when you just grow them outside, you lose a lot of growth by the wind, rain. If we have hail, the hailstones will bruise your onion leaves, and that'll knock them back. So you lose growth by wind, you lose growth by the rain sometimes if it's heavy, uh, too much rain, um, and if we have hailstones, it will bruise your plants, it knocks them back. And that's by putting that little cover over the top in whatever raised bed or whatever situation you've got, whether it's pallet collars. Um, if you just want to grow a few decent onions, get the longest pallet collars there is. I think it's about 6 or 8 foot. Put two of them on top of each other, two or three, depends on the height area you want to bend. Put a couple of battens up the side, 4 battens, make a square on the top, but make it slightly leaning, or put the blue pipe over the top. Put a clear cover over, and then put some scaffolding netting, green scaffolding netting on the side and the back and on the side, but leave the front open. And then you've got the control then as best as possible of the watering, whether you want to feed them, naturally feed them, or use proper feeds. And then in your soil inside, you want some good, well-rotten manure, good topsoil, good compost, whether it's recycled or whatever. Mix it all in together. Whether you are going to add a bit of balanced fertilizer or not, that's up to you. Add a bit of balanced fertilizer and give them a seaweed drink every time you water. And if you're going to use any liquid feeds, give them every other watering or a couple of times a week. And I'm sure that will grow you the next step onion that you're looking for. So here's my little grow room setup. We'll show you when we're potting the onions on, same as the leeks. That'll be the next step, and I'll explain the process as and why when we go through it. Thank you very much, and keep growing.